If we take something like any fiction, in any holy book, in any other fiction, and destroyed it, okay, in 1,000 years' time, that wouldn't come back just as it was. Whereas if we took every science book, right, and every fact, and destroyed them all, in 1,000 years, they'd all be back, because all the same tests would be the same result.
He's the one that gave the Quran to humanity. Revelation, the receiver of the revelation, and then that receiver, this is communication. This is exactly how communication works. And so the Prophet ﷺ articulated this extraordinary book, the fasaha of the book, the fact that the letters have been preserved to the degree that they've been preserved. We know exactly how the Quran is recited. We know how the Prophet ﷺ recited it. We know how many beats on every letter. How? This is the preservation of this book. No other book has this preservation. Inna nahnu nazzalna dhikra wa inna lahu lahafidhun. We have sent down this book and we have taken upon ourselves to preserve the book. If you go now to that matba' in Medina, subhanallah, look at what the preservation of this Quran, every Quran that you pick up in that masjid, all those hundreds of thousands of masahif are exactly the same, with no mistakes. That this has been going on for centuries. Imam al-Qurtubi, about this verse, if you look in his tafsir, a Christian man came in Andalusia, and he copied out a Bible and put mistakes in it on purpose. And he went to this Christian, and he was a calligrapher, master calligrapher, and it was a beautiful illuminated Bible. And he showed the Christian, and he said, could you read this and tell me if it's good? And this was the great scholar of and he read it, and he said, it's a beautiful gospel. And then he did the same with the Torah. He went to a Jew. It's beautiful. And he said, you didn't see anything wrong with it? No, it's beautiful. And then he wrote a mushaf and put mistakes in there. He took it to the Muslim scholar, and he said, could you read this and tell me what you think? And he said, we need to burn this. He said, why? He said, there's mistakes in it. And he knew that Imam al-Qurtubi mentions this in his tafsir. He knew that it was preserved. No other religious book has been given the blessing of preservation that this book has been given. That is i'jaz, that the Quran says this book will be preserved. Tajweed, we know the makharij al-huruf. We know the 17 points of articulation. I know exactly where the qa emanates from. I know where the ha emanates from. I know where the lam emanates from. I know the attributes of these. We know what's ismat, we know what is mahmusa, we know the idlaq, we know the huruf, the qalqala. We know these things. I know if you say al-haqq, that you have qalqala. We know the kubra and the sughra. Why? How did this all get preserved? Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala promised to preserve it. He promised His Prophet this book would be preserved. This is a miracle alone, just the preservation of the Quran. And Muslims have really, unfortunately, a lot of them, they just don't understand the incredible gift this community has been given in the having a unified book and the preservation that the book has been given. So